Welcome everyone to our discussion on special education for interpreters. Today we're diving into the core principles and best practices that help interpreters facilitate crucial communication in IEP meetings.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking about a framework built on IDEA, right? Ensuring that students receive FAPE and that parents are empowered to be active in their child's education.
Exactly. It's all about the Individuals with Disabilities Education Improvement Act, IDEA, which ensures that eligible children receive a free, appropriate public education, or FAPE, without cost to parents.
Right. And what's really interesting is that this law not only protects the rights of students, but also mandates that parents, regardless of language barriers, are included in the IEP process.
Right. Interpretation is key here. It's like having a bridge that connects families and schools. Without accurate interpretation, parents might miss out on understanding the educational plans tailored for their children.
Yeah, exactly. So, interpreters have this huge responsibility. They must relay not just words, but also the nuance of technical terms and legal rights. Would you agree that ensuring clarity during an IEP meeting is perhaps one of their most critical roles?
Absolutely. Think about it. During an IEP meeting, every term from individualized education program to exceptionality carries weight. It's like if you were assembling a complex puzzle. You need every piece in the right place.
Exactly. I can see that. And what about the classification of disabilities? There are 13 disability classifications under IDEA, correct?
Yep, exactly. They range from autism and deafblindness to specific learning disabilities and visual impairments. These classifications help educators and interpreters to understand
absolutely.
precisely what kind of support each child needs.
Now, here's one point. Would you say that sometimes interpreting these categories can be a bit daunting, given the technical and legal complexity, or is it pretty straightforward with enough preparation?
That's a good question. I mean, it can be quite challenging. It's like trying to navigate through a maze of legal jargon and educational terminology, but with comprehensive training and familiarity with the language, both colloquial and technical, interpreters can, deliver clear and concise translations.
Fair enough. But don't you think sometimes the burden on interpreters is underestimated? I mean, it's not just about word-for-word translation, it's about conveying intent and nuance.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you there. It's not just a direct translation job. It's more about ensuring both cultural and conceptual understanding.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of nuance, what are some of the best practices suggested for interpreters in these settings?
Oh, there's a lot there. One key factor is using accurate, neutral interpretation. You avoid adding or omitting information, ensuring that technical terms are clarified. It's like baking. You have to follow the recipe closely, right?
I like that analogy. Right, and maintaining professionalism and confidentiality is critical, so parents feel their input is truly respected.
Exactly. Plus, being mindful of cultural nuances is crucial. That way, you don't just interpret words, but also bridge cultural
that's so
context.
Important. Now, can we talk about the numbers a bit? I read that about 6 million students receive special education services in the US. Could you expand on that?
Sure. So roughly 6 million students aged 6 to 21 are involved in these services. And within that, over 80% of disabilities fall into 5 main categories, including learning disabilities, speech and language impairments, other health impairments like ADHD, autism, and intellectual disabilities.
Impressive stats. It really puts in perspective the scale and the need for effective interpretation.
Absolutely. And on top of that, there's early intervention and early childhood services. This covers infants and toddlers, and then preschoolers, making up about 1 million children in total who benefit from these services.
Yeah, very crucial. I love that you pointed out the importance of early intervention. It's a proactive approach, really. Catching issues early means tailored support sooner.
Exactly. Early detection and intervention can change a child's educational trajectory, becoming a bedrock for
Absolutely.
future success.
And what about people first language in special education? That's been getting a lot of attention lately.
Oh, yes, definitely. Using people first language is paramount. For instance, instead of saying learning disabled child, we say child with a learning disability. It's all about emphasizing the person first.
Yeah,
not
that really
the
respects the
disability.
individual. And when referring to children without disabilities, we prefer terms like typically developing children instead of normal children. It really shapes the conversation.
Exactly. These linguistic choices, though subtle, have a significant impact on how families and educators approach learning challenges.
Now, I'd like to touch on adaptations and modifications. How do these differ in practice?
Good point. Adaptations are adjustments that allow a student to access the curriculum without changing the core learning expectations, like using visual aids or extra time. Modifications, on the other hand, actually alter the curriculum, such as reducing content depth. It's like when you tailor a suit versus completely redesigning it, right?
That's spot on. That clear distinction really underscores the careful planning behind special education strategies.
Definitely. And, while the systems are well thought out, it's essential that interpreters are continuously updating their skills to navigate these complexities.
Yeah,
effectively.
absolutely. As we wrap, it's clear that effective interpretation in special education is as much about understanding legal mandates and technical terms as it is about empathetic communication and cultural sensitivity.
Exactly. Ultimately, every component, from IDEA's legal framework to best practices in interpretation, works together to ensure that families are heard and supported.
Truly enlightening. Thanks for this engaging discussion. It really highlights the intricate role interpreters play in making special education accessible to all.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining in on this deep dive into special education interpretation, and here's to more informed, equitable practices ahead.